was about 16 or 17, a junior in high school, a friend of mine invited me on a missions trip to actually serve in the inner city of the city we lived in. And I was excited to go, but mainly I was just excited to hang out with my friends and have a good week. But on this trip, my life was completely changed and my worldview was altered forever. A few days into the missions trip, we all went into the inner city and kind of got acclimated with the city because realistically I hadn't ever thought about the inner city, and if I had ever even thought about going into it, it was just that I shouldn't go into it because it was scary. So we spent the first few days just getting to know the city, getting to know the people, and learning about their lives and what they'd gone through. And this was the point where my life was changed. I met a woman who came in, she was about 25 years old, and she told us her story. And this story completely altered my life and changed the direction of where I was going. Her whole life she grew up in abuse with her mom. Her mom was addicted to drugs, and that addiction completely took over the family. And they didn't have money because the mom needed that money for her addiction. And one day the family just ran out of money. They didn't have any more, and the mom needed to get that next high. And so to get what the mom needed, she took her daughter outside and literally walked her up to the local pimp and sold her daughter for money to get her next high. In that one moment, this girl went from being someone's daughter to being someone's property. And when I heard that, it completely shook everything inside of me. This little perfect bubble that I lived in, this safe bubble where I had family that loved me, friends that loved me, and I had generally most things I needed. When I heard that bubble popped, and the way I looked at things started to change. I couldn't believe that this was reality 10 miles from where I grew up. And so she continued to tell us her story, and every day since she was 9 or 10 years old, this pimp sold her out to men living in my own city, and they abused her again and again. In a moment of either bravery or stupidity, I raised my hand and asked this lady, if it was so hard, why didn't she leave? And she looked at me and she smiled and she said, honey, if I could have left, I would have left a long time ago. She goes, but what's happening to me is a crime, and I'm the one paying those criminal ramifications. She goes, my pimp isn't arrested for what he does to me, and the men who buy me aren't arrested for what they do to me, but I'm the one arrested. So now at 25, I have a criminal record too long to even talk about. She goes, so what business would want to hire me to make money, and what apartment complex would want to rent an apartment to me? She said, no one wants to be my coworker, and no one wants to be my neighbor. She goes, I don't even have enough money to run away from my pimp, nor do I have the means to do that. And she must have seen the horror in my eyes when she told me that, because she smiled again and said, but even though it's hard, there's still hope. She goes, I've become a Christian, and now I've met my family again. She goes, now I'm someone's daughter. I'm a daughter of Christ. And so even though I still belong to someone, I still have a family. And so while things are hard, I have love, and I know love again. So while it's hard, I still have hope. And so when I heard that, in all that whole story, in one moment, I saw the evil of our world, but then I saw the hope in Christ. And I thought, if this woman can have faith, then so can I. And so after hearing that story, not only did my faith become real to me, but that woman gave me a purpose. She gave me direction. And I knew from that moment on, I would continue to fight for her and to help her, but I would also continue to fight for girls like her and for people who go through things like that. And I would fight to stop that injustice in our world, in my own city. And so I can't sit here and tell you that woman's name because I don't remember her name. And I can't tell you if she ever got away from her pimp or if she even survived the abuse she went through. But I do know that that woman changed my life. Meeting that woman gave me the faith I needed, but also the purpose I needed to become the woman I am today, but to continue to grow in the future.